Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. Welcome back. We're going to be reading, I think it's the fourth agreement is what we're working on. Yes, so chapter 7 in the fifth agreement, written by Don Miguel Ruiz and Don Jose Ruiz. So chapter 7, practice makes the master, the fourth agreement. Always do your best. Let me just take a little look and see how long this one is. I know we were able to complete the other agreements in one video, which I was pleasantly surprised on, but always do your best is a little bit more, longer of a chapter. So I may just read about half of it and we'll see where the time is when I get to that point. When you are ready to change your life, when you are ready to change your agreements, the most important thing is awareness. You cannot change your agreements if you aren't aware of what you like and what you don't like. How can you change anything if you're not even aware of what you want to change? But it's more than just being aware. It's the practice that will make a difference. Because you can be aware, but that doesn't mean your life will change. Change is the result of action. It's the result of practice. Practice makes the master. Everything you have ever learned, you learned through repetition and practice. You learned to talk, you learned to walk, and even learned to write by repetition. You are a master of speaking your language because you practiced. This is the same way that you learned all the beliefs that rule your life, by practice. The way you are living right now is the result of many years of practice. During your whole life, you practiced every moment to become what you believe you are right now. You practiced until it became automatic. And when you start practicing something new, when you change what you believe you are, your whole life is going to change. If you practice being impeccable with your word, if you don't take anything personally, if you don't make assumptions, you are going to break thousands of agreements that you keep trapped in the dream of hell. Very soon, what you agree to believe will become the choice of your authentic self, not the change of the image of yourself that you thought you were. The first agreement, be impeccable with your word, is all you need to create a beautiful life. It will take you all the way to heaven, but you may need support for this agreement. When you don't take anything personally, when you don't make assumptions, you can imagine that it's easier to be impeccable with your word. When you don't make assumptions, it's easier not to take anything personally, and vice versa. By not taking anything personally and by not making assumptions, you are supporting the first agreement. The first agreements may seem difficult to do. They may even seem impossible for us to do. Well, believe me, it's not impossible, but I have to agree that it's difficult because we practice exactly the opposite. All our lives, we practice believing the voice in our head. But there is the fourth agreement. And it's easy. This is the agreement that makes everything possible. Always do your best. You can do your best and that's it. No more, no less. Just do your best. Take action. How can you do your best if you don't take action? Always do your best is the agreement that everybody can do. Your best is in fact the only thing you can do. And the best you can do doesn't mean that sometimes you give 80% and other times you just give 20%. You're always giving 100%. That's always your intention. It's just that your best is always changing. From one moment to the next, you are never the same. You are alive and changing all the time. And your best is also changing from one moment to the next. Your best will depend on whether you are feeling physically tired or refreshed. Your best will depend on how you are feeling emotionally. Your best is going to change over time, and as you form the habit of practicing the four agreements, your best is going to get better. The fourth agreement allows the first three agreements to become deeply ingrained habits. Repetition and practice will make you the master, but don't expect that you can master these agreements right away. Don't expect that you are always going to be impeccable with your word, or that you are never going to take anything personally, or that you are never going to make assumptions. Your habits are too strong and firmly rooted in your mind. Just do your best. If you fail to keep one of the agreements, make the agreement again. Begin again tomorrow and again the next day. Keep practicing and practicing. Each day will become easier. By doing your best, the habits of misusing your word, taking things personally, and making assumptions will become weaker and less frequent over time. If you keep taking action to change your habits, it's going to happen. Eventually, the moment will come when all 4 agreements become a habit. You don't even try. It's automatic. It's effortless. One day, you discover that you are ruling your life with the 4 agreements. Can you imagine your life when these agreements become a habit? Instead of struggling with conflict and drama, your whole life becomes very easy. If you are going to create anyway, if you cannot avoid dreaming, then why not create a beautiful dream? You have a mind, you perceive light, you are going to dream. If you make the choice to not create anything, you are going to get bored, and the big judge will resist being bored. Then, of course, it's going to judge you according to what you believe. Oh, you are lazy. You should be doing something with your life. Then why not dream well and really enjoy your dream? If you can believe in your limitations, then why not believe in the beauty and power of life that's flowing through you? Life gives us everything, and everything in life can be a pleasure. Why not believe in the generosity of life? Why not learn to be generous and kind to yourself? If that makes you happy and you're good to everybody around you, why not? If you're always transforming, if your dream is always changing, even if you don't want it to change, why not master the transformation and create your own personal heaven? The dream of your life is made by thousands of little dreams that are dynamic. Dreams are born, they grow, and they die, which means they're always transforming. But usually they're transforming without your awareness. Once you are aware that you're dreaming, you recover your power to change the dream whenever you choose. When you discover that you have the power to create a dream of heaven, you want to change your dream, and the 4 agreements are a perfect tool to do that. They challenge the tyrant, the judge, and the victim in your head. They challenge all those tiny agreements that make your life difficult. And if you challenge your beliefs just by asking yourself if what you believe is true, you may find out something very interesting. All your life, you tried to be good enough for somebody else, and you left yourself last. You sacrificed your personal freedom to live according to somebody else's point of view. You tried to be good enough for your mother, your father, your teachers, your beloved, your children, your religion, and society. After trying for so many years, you try to be good enough for yourself, and you find out that you're not good enough for yourself. Why not put yourself first, maybe for the first time in your life? You can relearn how to love yourself by accepting yourself unconditionally, and you can start by projecting unconditional love to the authentic you. Then practice loving your authentic self more and more. When you love yourself unconditionally, you are no longer easy prey for an outside predator who wants to control your life. You no longer sacrifice yourself for anyone. If you practice self-love, you will master self-love. Always do your best is the agreement that helps you to become the master artist. The first 3 agreements are in the realm of the virtual reality. The 4th agreement is in the realm of the physical. It's about taking action and practicing until you become a dream master. By doing your best over and over, eventually you are going to master the art of transformation. The mastery of transformation is the secondary mastery of the artist, which you can clearly see in the 4th agreement. When you always do your best, you're taking action, you're transforming yourself, you're changing the dream of your life. The goal of the second mastery is to face what you believe and to transform what you believe. The mastery is achieved by changing your agreements and reprogramming your own mind in your own way. The result you want is the freedom to live your own life instead of the life of the belief system. When that book of law is no longer in your mind, the tyrant, the judge, and the victim are no longer in your mind either. The transformation has already started, and it always begins with you. Do you have the courage to be completely honest with yourself? To see the truth about how you write your story? Do you have the courage to see your superstitions and lies? Do you have the courage to review what you believe you are, or are there too many wounds to see? Perhaps you're thinking, I don't know, but you're taking the challenge. You're transforming your dream, and it's happening right now, because what you're doing is unlearning all your lies. The 4 agreements are actually a summary of the mastery of transformation. And the mastery of transformation is the process of unlearning what you have already learned. You learn by making agreements, and you unlearn by breaking agreements. Every time you break an agreement, the power of faith that you invested in that agreement comes back to you, because you no longer need to spend your energy to keep that agreement alive. You start by breaking You start by breaking agreements that are small and require less power. As you unlearn, you begin to dismantle the structure of your knowledge, and this frees your faith. As you recover your faith, your personal power increases. Your will becomes stronger. This gives you the power to change another agreement, and then another and another. Your personal power keeps growing and growing. And because you're much more powerful, you find that almost anything is possible. Soon, you are making agreements that lead you to happiness, to joy, to love. Then these new agreements come alive and begin to interact with the outside world, and your whole dream changes. When you unlearn, which is what you're doing now, you begin by facing what you believe. How are you going to face what you believe? You only have one tool to do this, and that tool is doubt. Doubt is a symbol, of course, but what it means is very powerful. With the power of doubt, you challenge every message you deliver and receive. You challenge every belief in your book of law. Then you challenge all the beliefs that rule society until you break the spell of all the lies and superstitions that control your world. As you shall see in part 2, the 5th agreement gives you the power of doubt. So that must be the 5th agreement, the power of doubt. I haven't looked into this book. I've read the 4 agreements, but I have not read this, and I haven't looked to see what they added on. Oh, that was it. I thought this was going to be much longer. So, okay. I must have grabbed 2 chapters thinking they were 1. Okay, so we've completed the 4th agreement, always do your best, which really ties in with the first 3. Always do your best with all of those agreements, making assumptions, taking things personally, and being impeccable with your word. 100% is going to look different every day, depending on where you are energy-wise, depending on where you are in your emotions, in your circumstances, but give your best every day to these agreements and start small in breaking your old beliefs. Start small, like the authors mention in here. Okay, so that was pleasantly shorter than I thought it was going to be. And in the next video, we're going to start part 2, which brings us to the 5th agreement, which is the power of doubt. Be skeptical, but learn to listen. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm just going to take a look and see how long that one is. So the 5th agreement is the power of doubt. Very interesting. And then we're going to read some additional information that I'm pleasantly surprised was not in. I thought this book was going to be too similar to the 4 agreements, but it's not, even from the introduction. There's a few pieces of information that are in both, but it's sort of necessary, but it's nothing repetitive. So if you've not listened to that one, don't think you're wasting your time in listening to it or reading it if you've already read this one. Or if you complete this one and you feel like you don't need to do that one, I say the more that you can listen and take this information in, first of all, you take something new away. And second of all, you're always in a different place mentally and emotionally, spiritually. So you may interpret things differently as you read it the first time to the second time. I think that goes without saying for many books, not just books of this genre, but for many books that we read, depending on where we are in our lives when we read them and what our mentality is and what our beliefs are, because those things certainly do shift. Okay, so we'll read the last agreement in our next video, and then we do have some more chapters to go after that, which I wasn't aware of. Let's see. So after we read the 5th agreement, we're going to read about the victims, the warriors, the masters, and then a chapter titled A New Point of View, and then the 13th chapter, What Kind of Messenger Are You? And then we do have an epilogue, and I'll read that at the end. It's a few pages long. So that's kind of what we're looking at. I always like to let you guys know kind of where we are and what we have coming and what we've already done, in case you're picking up in the middle or it's been a while since you've listened and you're coming back to it. So just kind of like to know what to expect. So we'll stop right there. Thank you all so very much for joining me. I love you all very much. If you have not already, if you would consider subscribing, liking my video, commenting, or even sharing with somebody that may enjoy this content, I would really appreciate it. It really does help out my channel, and it gets my videos out there for more viewers who are like-minded and perhaps would be interested in content that I share. So I love you all very much. Take care of you and those around you until I see you again. Bye-bye.